So, what's it like to bike in Asheville, North Carolina? That is the question I'm asking today in this video. This is part one of two videos. And this video is going to be focused on what it's like to bike for function. And what I mean by that is really biking around town for commuting and your day-to-day use of getting from point A to point B on your bike. The next video is going to be more about fun, which I would argue biking around town is always fun as well. But part two of the video, which I'll link at the end of this video, will be really more about like mountain biking, bike touring, bike packing, gravel biking. The first one's more about infrastructure, weather, things of that nature. Most of the videos I've done in the past are just one video, but I'm going to experiment with this one and break it up into two and go a little bit deeper into each of those individual aspects. So first of all, Asheville, North Carolina, I think it's known as like the city in the clouds. Yeah, Asheville is the city in the clouds or city in the mountains. It's let's see, city in the mountains. City in the mountains would just be like too descriptive and cliche because that is what it is. What is Asheville known for? Let's see. By the way, I want to let you know I haven't actually been to Asheville. I don't live there. I'm going to be using online maps to do my best. All of these are a resource to you as well. With that being said, though, if you live in Asheville and would be willing to be interviewed about what it's like to bike there and really share your knowledge on the show, I would love to potentially have you on this channel. If you're interested in that, just go down to the description below and we can figure something out. But okay, so Asheville is very well known for their Biltmore estate, which I think is like the largest, most impressive estate in America. But we care less about that and more about the biking. So let's just look at a quick population. 91,000, definitely a smaller city. It does have a skyline though, which is nice. Not only a mountain skyline, but also a city skyline. So some interesting buildings and definitely some interesting culture. As far as bike shops, I'm seeing about the Asheville Recyclery. I assume that's a used bike shop, which I love. Bicycle repair shop. Got to keep things on the road. Liberty Bicycles. You got no shortage of bike shops here, especially for a city of 100,000 people. As far as what walkscore.com gives Asheville, they say it's a walker's paradise, a 94 out of 100, but only a 74 out of 100 in the bike category, which they consider to be very bikeable. From what I've heard about Asheville, it's actually a very hilly area. You can see some of the green bike lanes here already. You can see the terrain here, right? It is up and down and up and down and up and down. And that's going to make for some challenging biking. What I will say is with e-bikes becoming much more popular now and much more affordable, I think this is going to make hilly cities less relevant in terms of their bike infrastructure. As far as the pedal assist bikes out there, I mean, if you haven't been on one yet, I would at least encourage you to test drive one at a bike shop just to see what it's like if you have the opportunity, because they will just show you a different way of doing things. It's pretty amazing. If you feel like you're a human on superpowers, like legit, they just turn your legs into like 5 times more powerful motors, basically immediately. So it is very hilly. That's one of the things to note about it. As far as some like dedicated bike paths in town, there's the Wilma Dykeman Greenway that goes in the French Broad River Greenway that go along the river here, the French Broad River, and then this Reed Creek Trail. So not a ton of rail trails or dedicated, like separated bike paths going through town. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit closer look at the street level for what's kind of going on in the downtown area and some of these designated bike lanes here. So we'll start near the Botanical Gardens at Asheville and take a look at this bike lane. We'll click on Street View. If you click on Street View, then we can see this bike lane right here. Let's see what's, whoa. Okay. So that is a fully separated bike lane. And look, someone is submitting all this data through while biking. How cool is that? I would love to start submitting to this. I think that'd be great. So that's this path right here. Kind of short, right? It's only maybe not even a mile. I'm not sure. Well, actually, no. You know what this is? This is this trail right here, the 0.7 mile Reed Creek Trail. So not all that substantial in the grand scheme of things. Let's look at this path right here, this dotted green line. This looks kind of like a neighborhood street. I don't see any sharrows on it, but I see a few cars driving on it. It doesn't look like there's any dedicated bike paths or anything, but maybe a lower traffic street that they suggest cyclists go on. When we go down into the South Slope Brewing District, let's take a look at some of these roads here. What I'm seeing is is that a protected bike lane? It may be. Okay, yeah. So this is like a buffered bike lane. What I like, they've got this planter here helping kind of protect off the edges. Yeah, it goes on both sides. So this is a good, Cox Ave is like a solid main drag if you're going to be biking in, kind of the urban area of Asheville. But it looked like this section only, kind of continued through from Lee Walker Heights to this road here. So not too long. As far as Hillard Avenue, let's see what we got there. Some sharrows. So you're still sharing and some bike lanes off to this side of the road on the other side. So nothing too substantial there. I guess you could be on the sidewalk here, but there are sidewalks everywhere. And personally, I don't like really riding on sidewalks because they can be quite bumpy oftentimes, as well as you're competing against pedestrians. Well, you're not competing. You just really have to watch out for pedestrians. They take precedent on the sidewalks for sure. And oftentimes they're very narrow, and you're going to have things like these poles in the way, which if you've got wide handlebars, doesn't work too well. Let's take a look at a few more street view of a few more paths. Let's see if we've got some of this river path. So here's like a walking path here. I suppose you might be able to bike. That's the person's finger, whoever took this video or this camera. This is the street here. Remember, this is in May of 2019, so this may not have been updated recently, and you got to take these with a grain of salt. It could have improved, and it looks like this is maybe a bike path that they're building here, which, maybe. I'm not exactly sure what it's like at the moment. Let's check out Riverside Drive here. Yeah, I'm guessing what they did is they converted this retired railroad maybe into the bike path. That's what they were working on. Not sure yet, though. Actually, probably not, because this is from September 2021, which is pretty recently from when I'm recording this video. So let's look at what this path looks like going over the bridge here. Yeah, these are just sharrows. No, there's some lanes off to the side. So far, what I'm seeing in the city is not all too impressive, to be honest, as far as protected bike lanes and things of that nature. I think there's a really strong mountain biking culture in Asheville, North Carolina, which I'll get to in the next video. You can see just the wealth of trails here up in the mountains. I mean, like, it's just absurd. And there's some pretty impressive bike touring as well. But as far as like urban commuting, I mean, I don't think that what they're doing as far as dedicated bike lanes and protected bike lanes is all that impressive. But with that being said, it is a smaller city. There's definitely going to be a lot of roads which are lower traffic. And if you're able to kind of navigate your way and be creative and try new routes, I think you could find some roads that are fairly lower traffic. And like, for instance, if I go up to like Alexander Drive over here, this is a pretty narrow road, and it's kind of windy. I don't know if you're going to feel safe when cars are kind of driving through here. Nonetheless, if you can kind of do your own searching and try to find some off the beaten path roads that cars don't take as often, definitely can help your case there. As far as weather, which I think is a really important part when it comes to biking year round, overall, Asheville gets a 7.6. It looks like, let's look at all the months that are above a 7. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. November is a 6.9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months above a 7, 5 months below a 7. But it looks like the coldest month is January at a 5.4. Definitely going to be possible to ride in the winter, but they get about 10 inches of snow per year, which the U.S. average is 28, so definitely less than average. About 44 inches of rain per year, a little more than average. The average July high is a 83, and average January low is a 25. So you're definitely going to get 4 seasons here. Although, again, no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothes. So, take this for face value and adjust your accordances. Let's see what's else relevant to biking for function around town. Let's just take a look at the number of breweries in Asheville. I don't know why that's relevant to this, but I just kind of feel like it's okay. We got Wicked Weed Brewing Pub, Dissolver, Highwire Brewing, South Slope, Green Man Brewery, Burial Beer. Let's see if there's a bike brewery. This is becoming like a thing where bikes and breweries are just amazing. Pub Cycle, the Flying Bike, e-bike tours, Beer City Bicycles. Hey, is Asheville known as Beer City? That might make sense. Asheville Brewery Tours. So a lot of breweries in Asheville. I bet they're super tasty. And if we zoom out and look at the terrain here, I mean, just look at how you're immersed in the mountains. It's pretty impressive, pretty amazing, and definitely a beautiful place. I think they've got some work to do when it comes to the cycling infrastructure. With that being said, if you live in Asheville and are on the ground there pedaling every day, I would love to potentially talk to you, bring you on the show, and you could kind of give us a lowdown of what it's like to bike there. If you're interested in that, just go down the description below. You can fill out a survey. And if you're just here to watch and enjoy the videos, then please consider giving us a subscription. That's hard to say. I don't say it enough, apparently. And, I got a ton more videos just like this one on your way. And also part 2, biking for fun in Asheville, mountain biking, bike touring, gravel biking is coming up next. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next video.